Running your own brokerage is not an easy task. Make sure you know that before you get into this business. However, this does not mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean there aren't people out there that can help you achieve your goals, advise you the right way to do things, realistically how to do things. But you have to keep in mind there are a lot of things to consider. First off, right from the beginning, the business plan is very important. You have to know what you're getting yourself into, what you're looking to do, what your goals are, what your plans are, how you're going to achieve this. Not just from a goals perspective, from a financial perspective, right? How far do you want to take this thing? Where do you want to go with it? And how quickly do you actually want to grow a freight brokerage business? So that's something you have to keep in mind before you even get into this. You've probably seen a lot of posts online of make millions and billions and blah, 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 blah. That's all great, but slow and steady wins the race in this business. So for your business plan, you have to include your business registration, how you're going to get that done. There's two ways to do it. Either you do it yourself, get all the things lined up, what you need to get, all the licenses and authorities that you need to get, or get somebody else to do it for you. It's up to you, whichever one you get to do. Just so you guys know, it does cost money for somebody else to do it for you. It'll be somewhere between $600 and $2,000, depending on the consultant that gets it done for you. If you do it yourself, you're keeping that money for yourself. That's something to keep in mind moving forward. Once you've gotten that figured out, the business registration itself and all the authorities, maybe even insurance, depending on if you're a broker, a freight broker that's going to actually get insurance as well, because it's not mandatory, it's optional. However, you will see there are some shippers out there that will request that you have coverage in order for them to give you loads. That's something you have to keep in mind. Now, it's not all shippers. Like I said, it's a percentage, but the option is there to get it, to start with it immediately, or to hold off until you have funds coming in and only go after the shippers that don't require you specifically as a broker to have insurance. Okay. Another thing you have to keep in mind is carriers. What good are loads if you got no carriers to cover it? So I would highly recommend getting in touch with as many carriers as you possibly can that are quality first over everything else, quality providers. What good is any carrier if they're not going to follow up on their promise the way they said they would get things done? So make sure you're working with carriers that are respectable in the industry. It does not mean that you go and work with UPS and FedEx. It means that you find yourself the right fit carriers for the type of shipments that you have available within your profile, within your portfolios. Also, you have to be prepared to try a lot of different things, not just email customers, as an example, not just find them on LinkedIn, but also go visit them in person, call them, do cold calling, do all these different things that can get you to the right spot as quickly as possible in brokering freight. Okay, in other words, getting the opportunity on RFQs or RFPs, or just one-off loads, spot buy loads that may be available for you as well. This business is very lucrative. Okay, this is a business that can definitely bring you in a different type of life than what you may have been used to before. It's also a very lucrative business because the overhead is relatively lower than other businesses. In addition to that, the regulations aren't insane to open up a brokerage. They're pretty realistic, and it's you can go about it a few ways. You can get yourself a partner, and you guys can split the cost to get the different licensing requirements. Or you can look at it, if you have any money on the side to invest in the business, you can do that as well. That's for the American folks. So it's up to you how you think would be the best way to go about it. You can also, if you're a outstanding financial citizen and you have a green light from your bank to get a small business loan to start off your phase of opening up a new business, that's an option for you. But just keep in mind interest rates and everything else on those loans. And shark loans are a bit dangerous to get, so see if you can get a good deal somewhere that's not going to break your bank on a monthly basis. You have to take into consideration Also, how are you going to source your carriers? Okay, sure, you can go about it organic ways, but quick methods, right? Load boards, different carrier sourcing tools that are available out there you can get. These are all things that you have to consider. What about tracking tools? What about invoicing your customers? What about a transportation management system? These are all things that you have to consider if you want to get into freight brokering and running your own freight brokerage business. If you work for a freight brokerage that's already established and you just want to be a freight broker agent, that's also something you can do. Okay, you can become a 1099 worker slash employee slash agent in that respect, instead of going down the W-2 route even. Or if you're going to just be a business owner, you can go down that route as well. All of this information is available in terms of, consulting, in terms of education, in terms of growth and development through me. If you want, you can reach out to me on an email. I can send you all the details. In regards to that, it is a digital video of all the things that I've just mentioned, plus a lot more things. So it's not just, it's not a class, it's not a course. It's more so industry knowledge from 15 years of experience in an organized manner, in a comprehensive and detailed manner, and you would go at your own pace. There's no tests involved, there's no quizzes involved. It's to get you to understand in full how the business runs, like the way we're doing, okay, the way we're doing, where we're at, and how we're functioning as a business. So with that being said, you can reach out to me if that's something of interest. You can also like the channel, subscribe to the channel, communicate with me that way as well through comments, or you can communicate with me via email, whatever is easiest for you. At the end of the day, you just have to get advice from realistic individuals that will give you realistic advice and not throw you into a rabbit hole that you don't know how to get out of. So keep that in mind as you go into 2025, is if freight brokering is something that you want to do with your life. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.